With another video, I'm going to be talking about some newly shown figures. This time, I'm very excited to be talking about, for the first time, the Last Night figures from Transformers 5. So, I don't do too many Transformers videos on my channel, simply because I really only collect movie Transformers, and obviously, movie Transformers don't come out unless there's a movie coming out. So, it's been like 3 years now, and we finally have another movie, which means we finally have some toys to talk about. This being basically the entire first wave of the deluxe class figures from the Last Night have been shown. We have seen some of these figures before, or we've seen Last Night figures before, but they've all been repaints at the moment, or they've been, almost repaints. Just with some slight differences. Like they showed a Optimus Prime as well as a Bumblebee. But now we have the deluxe wave, so that's what I'm going to be talking about here. First of all, we have Barricade. This is very exciting. We obviously have seen Barricade. We've seen his CGI render from the film, and it's looking quite cool. I like the new Barricade design. I think it's pretty neat. I think it's incredibly goofy that he's like a cop, He's got a gun in a holster. He has a baton on his thigh. He has, the figure doesn't seem to represent it, but the CGI render does have him have a kind of like badge that he wears around his neck, like on a necklace. It's ridiculous stuff like that doesn't make any sense, but it's just kind of cool. I like it. So this figure is looking decent. All these figures, sculpt wise, look pretty nice. I am happy about their sculpting for the most part. However, their paint is looking quite weak. There's really nothing too special as far as paint goes, and it's very much blocky as far as the paint goes. You have certain sections with certain bright colors, and then other sections with certain bright colors. It doesn't meld well, and it's not very well done in that effect. But as you can see, it's looking quite nice. He does have, the baton at his side. He comes with the gun as well, which looks cool. And then he does have that, canister weapon, which looks quite neat. I wish that it looked a little bit more natural and not so much like a piece that was just kind of put on his arm. But still, what do you expect? The paint on this thing is quite rough. But the sculpt is nice. I like the sculpt quite a bit. I think that the head sculpt looks good. I think that that's definitely a good representation of what we've seen in the CGI render of him. It looks nice. Kind of see his instruction manual there, a couple of accessories. You can see somewhat the scale. It looks about the same, type of size as the Age of Extinction toys. But it's looking pretty nice. And we'll talk about the in-package pictures of them in a second here, so we can talk about the CG renders on the side. Alright, so then we have B. Just looking, sorry for that pop-up. So we've got B here looking quite poor. I think that Bumblebee is the worst of them all, and possibly that's just because we've had a Bumblebee figure in the past, or we've had several, so you can kind of compare it better. But it really does look very shell transformery. You've got just like this section up here that's not created by anything from the car. It's obviously just something that was inside the car. You have hollow bits. His knee, it looks like there's not much articulation. It's kind of hard to see from these pictures, but I don't even see a knee joint. No, I can't imagine this guy won't have a knee joint, so I'm sure he'll have one, but it's just, I can't imagine the range would be decent at all. But it's looking like quite a weak figure, and this is going to be a Bumblebee that I skip. Since up until this point, I've bought at least one, but most of the time 2 Bumblebees per movie, and I think that this one I'm definitely going to skip because it's just not looking good, and I have so many Bs that Bumblebee, it doesn't even excite me anymore. And then we have this. Now this is a really interesting one, and it's a new reveal for a Transformer that we haven't seen before, Berserker. His alt mode is the same alt mode as the Dark of the Moon Dread alt mode. As you can see, kind of the police truck thing. I don't know what you call it, I don't know the official name. But it does look nice in vehicle mode, and then in robot mode, as you can see, it's a Dread. So it's unfortunate, and it's kind of cool at the same time that they are reusing the Dread mold. I like the Dread mold a lot. I like the Dread mold a lot. However, it's just disappointing to see because of Michael Bay's laziness, that they're just reusing sculpts again, which they do a lot, so that is disappointing. But however, I do like the Dread mold. I think it's very cool, and at least we kind of get another Dread for our Dread team. Now, this Dread it looks to be almost identical to the other one, except for the head sculpt is identical to Crankcase. I was hoping that it would be Crowbar, simply because we don't have a Crowbar figure, we have a Crankcase one, but unfortunately the head sculpt does seem to resemble Crankcase. And then the rest of the figure looks pretty similar. It might have some differences, but for the most part it looks like it's just a new toy design of the same character. We'll have to see though, possibly in the movie he will be different, but with the Crankcase's head. As far as weapons go, he has the same weapon as Crankcase and Crowbar did. That kind of comes out of their back. I've also seen another picture where they do have him attached to their back here, so you probably will be able to do that with the figure. The paint I'm not too happy with. You've got like grays, but then it's kind of broken up with black sections, and then there's some like red highlights. If it was more naturally put together, I think it would look nice, but instead it's kind of like piece by piece by piece, so that is quite disappointing. However, it's just very exciting to get a Dread figure, and I have to say, even if it's not like accurate, it would be really cool just to display him with Crankcase, to have a Dread, to have like another Dread in your collection, basically. So here's essentially the first assortment. It's going to be of the Deluxe series. It's going to be Bumblebee, Barricade, Berserker, and Slash. Slash is a Dinobot, and that seems to be the exact same sculpt from the one that we got last year, but now I'm sure it'll have different paint. Slash was not in Age of Extinction, so I guess he's going to make his appearance here. I'm going to level with you guys. I don't like the Dinobots from the movies. I like them from the TV show, like the 80s show. I like them there, but I really don't like them in the movies, and I really was hoping that they wouldn't be in this next movie, but they are, and I'm disappointed by it, and I probably won't get any of the Dinobots figures. But yeah, and then here we have the in-package look for only two of them. We didn't get one for Slash or Bumblebee, but we have Barricade and Berserker, so you can see their artwork on the side there. Berserker gives you a little bit of a better look at how he's going to look in the film. I'm quite excited about him. I love myself some Decepticons, I really do, so I'm very excited to get more Decepticons, because I think Age of Extinction really was lacking when it came to Decepticons, so very happy to get these Decepticons, and they're looking quite good there. I have to say, I'm definitely going to be getting them. The paint is disappointing, but the sculpts themselves I actually kind of like. I think that they look pretty decent, and they're good representation of these characters. So let me know what you guys think of these figures, and thanks so much for watching.